Today is August 3rd, 2017. It's a decent night at work. I went in a little, I don't know if I want to call it a bad mood. I noticed that some days I just go into work looking like I feel like like I'm looking for trouble. But I can't tell whether or not I go in there looking for trouble and then get annoyed, or if right off the bat I feel annoyed. For example, last night I went into work, and no fault by anybody else, because there's a lot of going on, but right off the bat I noticed that there was an email that wasn't addressed that came in at 5 o'clock. This is even before our night shift gets on. And then 2 more emails after 6 o'clock, and within the last 2 hours of before I came in, that weren't addressed either. So within the first 15 minutes of me sitting down, I addressed 3 emails, and basically the only 3 emails that required action from my team. So I started off the night kind of annoyed, the fact that out of 3 or 4 different people that have come through the desk before I got there, that I was the only one that noticed. And 2 of those 3 requests show up in 2 different locations. So they show up in email as well as in a tool. Whatever, I took care of those, made the responses that they needed to make. And then I got another couple of emails from one individual asking for an approval on something. He obviously was a bit annoyed because he wasn't getting the approval that he required in a time frame that he thought he should have gotten it. So I went ahead and responded to him saying the reason he's not getting his replies the way he thinks he should get the replies, that the people that are approving his request don't do that approval as a main priority of their job. In fact, it's very low on the priority list. There's other things that those teams do that are higher priority, like their job. So there's ways to to avoid that. I guess that guy was pulling somebody over. There's ways to avoid that, and that's to put in this request for whatever it is that you're trying to do weeks in advance. You can do this, a month ahead. It's a request for a week at a time. And too often, we're seeing people put the request in once their approval has subsided. So they can't do their job until they get approved. Well, the way around that is to put the approval in weeks in advance. So you can put in an approval every week, but put it in for the week that's a month ahead. So the teams that are required to approve these have weeks to do it. Anyway, so I had to respond to that to, hopefully make sure that he got the information that he needed, so as that he doesn't have to wait for that in the future. So I was already annoyed, and then I got to an email from my boss that was from some things that I had done the previous night, which I guess I gave the wrong direction on how to handle specific things. I gave the direction that I thought was the direction, and at the end of the conversation, whenever the people I was giving the direction to said that that's not what we were told, I, kind of went back and said, took a step back and said, okay, well then, if that is your process, that's fine. Just have your management reach out to me and let me know that. So my manager apparently was included on the email, or got the email forwarded to her, or something along those lines, that basically I was given the wrong direction. Fast forward to me reading the email on this from my boss, who didn't quite have the whole story, and she admitted that she didn't. She said she kind of just jumping in the middle of it. I still believe that my direction was the right direction, and if the process is not to do that, then I believe the process should be changed. So I wrote a big long email with the whole story, and basically told my boss that, you know, if that's the process, that's fine. I'll go ahead and continue to ignore it and provide poor customer service going forward. That email's still sitting in my draft box. I haven't sent it yet. This is one of those ways, you know, that I cope with these types of things, because I feel very passionate about, you know, the service that we provide to our customers, and if I see an instance where there's can be an improvement, I want to improve that. So you say to me, well, why haven't you just contacted management in the past to try to get this approved? Well, I have. And I actually thought it was handled pretty poorly. For this exact thing, I was told by my manager to contact my peer, you know, in the other group that would be handling this process. You know, we both work for my boss. And not only did that peer not even respond to my email, she sent somebody that works in Texas to fly to Maryland and talk to me about it. Which I'm sure he was planning on coming here anyway, and she just said, well, we'll just wait till you get there to talk to him about it in person. So we had the conversation. The conversation ended with the conclusion that local support has a responsibility to do certain things. I'm getting too specific. That the team has, you know, basically there was nothing in our conversation that specifically targeted this type of issue. What it boils down to is they're sending all requests, all tickets, which is like a help desk. They're sending all tickets to one specific tech or one specific queue in an attempt to see if that person can't fix it. And if they can't fix it, then transfer that ticket to the place it needed to go to in the first place. The problem with this is when we handle those types of users, they are automatically lowest priority users, which means after hours there's no service level agreement clock, meaning we don't have to do any work on it until 6 a.m., which is when the clock basically starts on it, and where we have to have it done in a certain amount of time. So the team that they send it to has no reason to hurry up. They're handling all tickets that have higher priority in front of it, and if they do decide to work on something out of the ordinary, then they'll look at it. Here's a situation: we have multiple users at a site that we have absolutely nothing to do with, can't access something, or something was, you know, broken or whatever. So we're sending it off to a team that has no reason to work the ticket quickly. And then once they do decide to work the ticket and find out that they need to transfer it where it should have gone originally, they send a transfer request back to the team that assigned it to them. Again, bronze ticket, their lowest priority ticket, so it doesn't have to be worked right away. They sit on it until they have time to transfer the ticket to the original people. So here you have a multiple person outage that we can't fix anyway or work on, that takes hours to go to the original place it needs to go to. And to me, that's poor customer service, and that process needs to be changed. Anyway, I'm getting a little bit too involved in my work here, so I'll start talking about life. Slept pretty much the whole day yesterday. I got home after working on the other house, mowing the lawn of the other house, and the babies were already napping. I hate that because I didn't get to see them at all. So I went straight to bed. As soon as I got home, I saw Haley and said hello. We talked for a little bit, and then I went straight to bed. And my alarm went off sometime, or I woke up at some point because I wear a CPAP machine, you know, a little breathing for sleep apnea. And sometime I had woken up and removed my mask and put it away. Like, I didn't just like pull it off my head and fall asleep before I had a chance to do anything with it. I actually put it away and then fell back asleep, so I was snoring like a logging truck. I'm sure of it. But I woke up at like 8:30, came downstairs after getting dressed, and sat with everybody for a few minutes before I left for work. And then I went to work. Now I'm just off of work. I got out of there just before 6 o'clock. Had to stop and get gas on the way home, and then, full disclosure, I got myself a burrito with a hash brown in it from Wawa. There was salsa on it, which is fine, but it was a mild salsa, so it tasted like tomatoes. So they might as well just said they put chopped tomatoes on it. So, anyway, despite the fact that it had tomatoes on it, it was pretty good. And then I got myself some half and half tea, lemonade, and now I'm on my way home. It's pretty much all that's going on right now. That was plenty to talk about either way. But payday today. Hopefully we can get some money into the transferred money into my PayPal account so we can go in and pay for Haley's Taekwondo classes. Get her going on that. She seems pretty excited, and I'm excited that she's excited because I think this will do a whole lot for a couple of different things. One, for her confidence. She has confidence, or at least she pretends to have confidence. I think is more accurate. She doesn't have the confidence, and I think that's because she thinks she's different, which she is. She's special. She's unique. You know, she's red hair, and she was always talking about how she wants to change her hair, and I'm just like, oh, I love your hair. Some bullies around the neighborhood and stuff, so I think sometimes her self-worth gets a little bit down. It doesn't help probably that Dad yells at her a little bit because of the other issue, and that's her authority problem. She's having a real bad time with authority, so I think even though I yell at her sometimes, it's okay because Mom doesn't when I do, and I don't when Mom does. So I think it's a nice trade-off in that sense, to where, you know, we're playing good cop, bad cop, if that's what you want to call it, where the compassion's coming from the other parent when the one parent is being the disciplinary. So I think that's good. But this Taekwondo is going to teach her some discipline and some self-worth for sure. Not only that, whenever anybody's bullying her, she can just beat them up. Just kidding. Anyway, keep an eye out for number 1 to get some videos out. I'll see if I can't share those out on Facebook. But until then, signing off.